Station, and I mean Dudley Station, not Dudley, Mass, going to work on stem cell research. So then the question is, Mr. Governor, what's the plan for urban residents in Massachusetts, rural residents who no longer make enough money through the farming? What do you have to say to them, because they make up a disproportionate large number of the total citizens of this Commonwealth? Well, what was the answer to that? 6 months of strategizing and trips to the Berkshires, months of experts who sat in the room and came out and said, I know, let's build some casinos. And in fact, I have a better idea. Let's put one in downtown Boston. To which my response is, even if you support gaming, which I do not, as a revenue generator, the states that have gaming do not put a casino in their capital city. There's a reason for that. Because you do not want people to get on the train and spend 75 cents to go and give away their Social Security and their rent money. Because the whole success of this plan would have depended on citizens of Massachusetts to raise the revenue. So we're going to take it from the people who least have it, because that's who gambles, and use it to solve our revenue crisis, which of course we would compound, because the people who least afford it are the ones who would be spending their money in gambling. So I would challenge us all, as of course, in fact, Mitch talks about this all the time, and you just said it again. On Wednesday, when you hear the economic policy address, listen for Dudley Station. So what does this mean for Dudley Station? Some preview that I have suggests to me that you are not going to hear anything that speaks to Dudley Station.
Let me talk about this. In this city, we are in such denial about the issue of unemployment that we are supporting a policy position that is foolish enough to say that we are going to bring peace to our community by putting more police on the streets. We are going to bring peace to our community by putting more police on the streets. The federal government said in 2007, after the American Community Survey, statistical survey that they did in Boston, that there are at least 11,000 young people between the ages of 16 and 24 who are unemployed. At least 11,000. Neil Sullivan, the head of the Private Industry Council, said probably 16. Think about that. What if it's 14? 14,000 young people, the vast majority of people, children of color, are unemployed and out of school. Probably at least half of them don't have a high school degree, because where they're dropping out of school for the last 5 or 6 years, they've been dropping out of school initially at the rate of about 1,200 a year. Now it's up to 2,000. And yet are we standing up and demanding a jobs policy from the mayor? Are we saying don't just keep putting police on the streets? We have to put our children to work. No, we don't say that. The politicians go along with the thought that yes, police are the answer. What I'm trying to say is that we, the people, white people and black people, Latinos, Asians, I think, are a part of the problem, because we're not responding as if it's a crisis. We're assuming that essentially a white police force is going to bring peace to our community when our youth are unemployed in astronomical numbers. I'm not talking about those over 24, right? It's insane. It is literally insane. And we are as much to blame for the insane kind of policies as Mayor Menino and a lot of others, because we need to be standing up and saying, stop the bullshit. Stop saying that more police are going to bring public safety to us. That's crap. It's the
is that, when we identify problems and come up with solutions, that's what we look for. We ain't trying to raise no levels of consciousness. We're trying to come up with solutions. And when we thought about the idea of public works jobs, well, if this is the economy that Duvall and DeMacy and these guys are pushing for, right? Because they got Harvard, they got MIT, they got BU, and they want to keep these students here. I get all that, right? But that's the economy that they're pushing for. Rather than continue to keep sending people, black folks, and chasing them to Brockton, we need to figure out how to create these jobs for them. And back in the day, the public works jobs, that was the purpose of the public works jobs, to train these folks in these skills. Recognizing they have no college degrees, and some may not even have high school diplomas, but they always found a way to work around that. And teach them these jobs, and then pay them a salary, pay them what they would, as if they were working every day, like they were working every day. And at the end of 2 years, they had to get off that. The company had the opportunity to hire them, or they had the skills to go someplace else. Now, I certainly know that if we can train a monkey to fly 3 times around the orbit, I have every confidence in the world that some brother named Carbree is going to learn how to do something in science and technology if given the opportunity. But how do we pay for it? Well, we're always going to get people. But the 2 things that we don't ever have to worry about with South Macy is that they'll always say no, and they'll never have an alternative. So our idea is to come up with one, right? And I was just like, well, damn, if we came up with a 2-cent tax on soft drinks, start playing with the numbers, you can raise a few $100 million, and then at least in this state can put some people to work. Can get that program started. Now, I know Duvall would probably take it personal that we came up with that, and this whole thing with Coca-Cola, but, we're trying to find every way we can to come up with an alternative because our community is dying and no one seems to give a damn. And that's the bottom line. That's why we have this thing tonight.
Black people.
Because no one gives a damn.
I think what we can do, not just in Boston, but around the country, is start to build a national movement. And we can have that movement led by people of color. We can have that movement led by black men in this country. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. Because when we look at what happens in November, most likely, let us hope, there will be a Democrat. Now, that doesn't mean things are going to change, and I don't disagree with my friends up here. But I do think it gives us a chance to start to really organize, to be positive, to think about how do we have jobs programs? How do we have programs that really put money in the communities? Right now in Memphis at this moment, there's a conference for the 40th anniversary of Dr. King's assassination about green-collar jobs. We don't have all the answers. People don't know exactly what that means, but everybody knows that we have to change how we live as a society. We can't keep using cars the way we do. We need mass transit. We need to change our buildings so we don't use so much energy. And we know, this is sort of the elephant in the room, right? We're spending hundreds of billions of dollars a year to kill people in other countries so they hate us. Let's organize people who hate the war and people who want jobs in their communities and people who want equality together. Let's start that movement with people of color, if necessary, to create something that's different. I remember about 20 years ago when the Cold War ended, I was a peace organizer. We were all about the peace dividend. We were going to get those hundreds of billions of dollars that were going to fight the Cold War and bring it to our communities. And we worked and we tried. And ultimately, we failed, right? A lot of different reasons. Part of it was that the peace movement, and even though I'm part of it, it's basically a white movement, white-led, middle-class, upper-middle-class movement, had great ideas about how to bring it out to the community. Well, let's go back to the civil rights movement. That didn't start with white people in Cambridge saying, hey, we want to help you people get some rights. It started with black people standing up for their rights. So let's find a way to stand up today for our economic rights, to get out there, build a movement, invite everybody in, get all the other poor people, all the other working class people, all the other people who want to go to college but can't afford $40,000 a year. I mean, I went to college, I graduated in '86. I paid $2,000 a semester. And this is crazy. We have to organize people to change this. But I think we can. But it's got to start with people like us. We can't wait for anyone else to do it.